nutrition program in Port-au-Paix, which is behind us that way. Exactly. That way, 40 miles.
A short 40 miles,
Short
but
40
a
miles.
long 9-hour drive.
Yes. Yeah, we did a nutrition program over there for a year, and it was a good introduction to Haiti. We worked with a really small organization, very poor organization. So yeah, we rode public transportation around everywhere, and
Which is a great way to learn.
which is a great way to learn Creole and learn about the people and learn about the culture. And it was a tough year, but it was a good year. Lots of lessons learned, and yeah, we did that. And we worked in a cholera clinic for 6 weeks, and then cholera broke out in Haiti, and it was rough.
That was kind of it was at the time like watching like senseless death, where you saw kids and adults dying for no reason other than they couldn't get clean water. And so at the time, we knew like our time with the other organization was coming to a close, but just seeing that and seeing, the senseless death of all that they were dying for was because they didn't have clean water. And we went back home for Christmas and just really prayed about where God wanted us from there, and just started looking at water organizations, and not just water, but really water with the gospel and health and hygiene too, because it's one thing to learn about clean water, but also like all the practices that go along with it that we take for granted, that we learn growing up, but not everyone knows. And so it was really, it was a good thing that brought us to Living Water, and we love what they do, and it just...
Yeah, it was good. Doing the nutrition program for the year, we really learned that like food is good and food's a major problem. But once we started learning Creole and really getting to get out and talk to different people and find out what's going on, like when you ask people in Haiti like what their biggest needs are, it's always access to water, education, electricity. Like it's like so fundamental.
It's huge to be in the communities and meet. You could meet the end users. You get to know the women and children whose lives are going to be changed because they have clean water. And it's just something that we can't grasp because we take so for granted. But like knowing that they're not going to be sick, they might not die from water-related illnesses. And just even like talk about the poverty index. But what does that even mean? But it's more so you don't have to spend so much time finding water, thinking about clean water, how you're going to get it, going and getting it. It's a lot of work.
And it's an instantaneous change too. Like I think we really fail.
Yeah.
Even like we live here, and I drive by like other wells that we've drilled, 6 months, a year ago in the past. But like I think we fail. I feel like I still fail to realize like, the impact we're making in terms of like the day that well's done. I mean, we're still working with like the community development side of things, but like people's lives are changed. Like they will have, some people in that community will have hours of extra free time on their hands. And that's what's going to happen this week. Like, there are women there that now have 2 hours less time, and they're walking 2 hours less, which means they're expending less energy, and the same for their kids too. And it's a life changer. It's in addition to the fact that they're drinking clean water.
And the cool part's like seeing them drilled at churches. So like even people who aren't Christians have to come to the church to get water. It's kind of nice. Like, hey, well, you're here, and just talking about the pastors to use that as a tool to bring people into the church, because, to not just use it for your congregation, but use it for the whole community, and they love it, because they'll go knock on people's doors, and it's one thing to, like...
There's a lot of anticipation, especially, like, in communities, like where we're working now. We work down the road, so, like, they saw and heard about the community, a kilometer down the road, and what happened and what changed, and so it's the guy that's the pastor. I don't think he's the official pastor, he's like the quasi-pastor, but he's the guy he's the one that he came up to us when we were drilling a well down the road and said, hey, we've got a church we would love to have a well at. And so they went through the process with us, and so there's a lot of anticipation surrounding that, from the first time he met us, and we said, okay, well, yeah, let's talk about this, like that was like 6 months in the making.
Mm-hmm. And so, just that they know, like, they can take Living Water at their word, so that, they've seen that when we say that if you fulfilled your end of the bargain and you set up what you need to with your community and the water communities and whatever expectations we need from them, that we will deliver. Like, we will, we are people of our word, and let your yes be yes. And so, knowing that that's going to happen, we really will come back, and there's talk about what, they're going to come and we're going to hang out all week and do VBSs and Bible stories, and the kids, they grow up and they don't get a lot of that. They don't get a lot of, arts and crafts time, stuff that we're
Yeah.
over by the time we're 10. You have grown adults that sit there all day. And,
Basically organized
right.
Yeah.
stuff to do.
Right, and they love it.
Productive.
Good enough. So it's something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. Like that the big machine came and drilled the well, and all the Blancs showed up and played with them, and talk about it forever. And they'll remember everyone's names, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and I've seen that too. When we go to like repair wells that have been there for like 15 years or 20 years, if you ask people, like it's easy in Haiti. Like in America, if you're like, hey, what happened with this? People are like, I don't know. Go get public records or something. But like, they'll just find the oldest person in the town or the little village or whatever and bring them out. And he'll explain the story of who came and drilled that well and what took place and what problems they had with their drill rig. And so, that same thing will happen, at the places where we're drilling. There's a story that surrounds that somebody that's 20 or 30 now is going to be telling to some random dude 50 years from now.
Yeah.
That's funny, guys.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. So we always try to keep in the forefront of my mind. Like Haiti, I don't feel like has really changed that much in the last 2.5 years since we've been there, like on a national scale per se. And I think you can get really frustrated if you're like looking for like major change, you know what I mean? Like, or if you're trying to affect major change. But I think if you just say like, okay, we changed one life here, we changed one life here, we changed. I think that's what God expects of us, and I think that's what that can, it's like passion that can really fuel your fire. I mean, if only one, whatever it costs us to drill that well out there, $5,000 or $10,000, like, it would be worth it if it was just for one person.